All right, what's going on, everybody? KB Card Stacks here, and we are back for a Week 3 recap of the college football weekend. Going to be looking at the top performers, who was performing really well, who was underwhelming, who am I buying, who am I selling, what am I looking forward to in Week 4. Let's just get right into it. This is my favorite video of the week. If you enjoy it, let me know. Drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and let's just get right to it. So, first game didn't really have a whole lot of card action, but Jordan McLeod, they just blew this game. It was 28-7 at one point, I believe, and then ASU just kind of started putting things together to end the half, and then, just did enough to get by at the end. Texas State really blew that game, but Jordan McLeod, a pretty solid performance. Cam Scadaboo's the truth, though. Ishmael Mahdi, not a great performance. He's in Leaf Vivid. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. Sam Levitt does have cards in Leaf Pro Set 2024. I don't know what to make of it. ASU much better than we thought. Obviously 3-0. Texas State, I don't know. That was a very toss-up win. Wyoming doesn't look like that great of a win now, and Mississippi State same as well to me. So hard to gauge, but those teams I think are underperforming compared to where Arizona State is, if that makes sense. So that's kind of it for that first game. Nothing here but South Alabama. Put it on them. All right, Arizona, Kansas State. Man, this was disappointing. I thought the 7-point spread was. I thought it was going to be close. Of course, I just thought I'm not super high on Kansas State, and coming out of this game, I'm still not. I'm not a big Avery Johnson guy. Not a great passer. He doesn't do a whole lot for me. He's there. He can throw it when he needs to, but he's not going to win you games through the air. It's all through the legs. DJ Giddens has been an amazing running back, taking over from last year, now going into this year. Dylan Edwards, a huge special teams play to get the lead early on in the second quarter here. I'm just not high on Kansas State again. They don't really have anyone related to cards. DJ Giddens, cool, but yeah, Arizona got shut out for what? The final 52 minutes of the game. They scored to open the game, and that was pretty much it. Noah didn't look amazing. He was just really looking for T-Mac, and that was the big thing for me all offseason. The wide receiver room got worse. You lose Jacob Cowing to the draft. You lose Tanner McLaughlin to the draft. Tight end, but you get the picture. And Montana Lamonius Craig was fine. He's a very decent, solid. He's a decent wide receiver 3. You do not want him to be wide receiver 2. And everyone else, Jeremiah Patterson, there's another kid that they've got who I'm blanking on. Devin Hyatt, Jalen Hyatt's little brother. Like, that doesn't move me. Not good in the receiver room. That was my biggest complaint. That and offensive line. You lose Jordan Morgan, first round pick, left tackle. They lost Raymond Polito, who I was never high on, but it just stinks to lose him. I think it was academics. And then run game just wasn't really going. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, eligibility concerns still. Over the summer there was the stuff with like him at Alabama State or wherever he was. I forget where he started his career. And basically he gave his jersey to another player, but they still counted all his stats, and they're saying that he ran out of eligibility. It's been a thing since this summer. I thought it was cleared. Apparently it's not. Nonetheless, yeah, really disappointing. Solid for T-Mac. He looked phenomenal. Had a lot of good catches, but Noah Fida, not amazing. Not a great team. Kansas State beat them on specials. They had that 7 right there, and they just made enough plays and a lot of penalties. Does this have penalties? I don't think this has penalties, so you'd have to go to team stats. A lot of penalties for Arizona, so it is what it is. They struggled against NAU. That's not great. They allowed 39 points versus UNM. Bowman University is going to rely heavily on Noah Fafita and a few other guys, so not good to see them struggle. We'll see what happens, but again, not very high on Arizona at the moment. Still not high on Kansas State. We'll see. Jalen Daniels, probably one of the biggest disappointments in the product. I mean, if he's healthy, Kansas makes the playoffs, in my opinion. They're 1-2 now, and they lose a bad game to UNLV. UNLV is a good team. They are a very good team, but you should not be losing to them. Matthew Sluka cannot complete 50% of his passes, but he's going to beat you with his legs. That's what he does. He's going to complete 6 to 12 6 to 11 passes a game, and that's pretty much it. You don't even see Ricky White. He had a great game last week, but this, for one of the best receivers in the country, meh. Jacob DeJesus, I really like him. You don't even get him involved. 5 total yards for your two biggest player, 9 total yards for your two biggest playmakers, Jacob DeJesus and Ricky White. It's a dang shame, but Sluka continues to ball, and he's going to move the ball for them. So we'll see. I don't know. Secondary defense is going to hold him up. Devin Neal, he's probably got, 400 yards at this point through 3 games, 333 yards. He's been doing it behind a meh offensive line, but Jalen Daniels just not good, not good, not good. People are selling him heavy right now. I've never seen so much Jalen Daniels listed. He had 3 picks, 2 picks. 2 picks. Did he have a fumble? Nope. Okay, so he had 3 picks against Illinois. They've got West Virginia. We'll talk about that at the very end. But not good. If you believe in him, now's the time to buy, though. This was a very surprising game. Georgia obviously needing to come back from behind. Kentucky with that questionable 4th and 1 in plus territory punt decision. I don't know. But Kentucky has a very elite defense. I'm not super concerned about Georgia. It's not great. It's not great that, this offense does look like it took a step back without Brock Bowers and just without all these pieces. I don't know. Brock Bowers, I think, was the best college football player for the last 2 years. Argue with a wall, I don't care. Dominic Lovett had a couple of really good catches. Seems like he's the number 1 receiver. I don't know. ETN, you're getting 46 to 95 yards from him every single game. That's about it. That's what he does. We'll see. Branson Robinson was able to score. Nate Frazier, little freshman, we'll see. And then Roderick Robinson still dealing with turf toe, whatever. But a lot of those guys have cards. ETN, Branson does not. Roderick does. Nate Frazier does have cards. Colby Young, meh. He's got cards in his Miami jersey. And Oscar Delp fumbled, almost gave this game away. Yikes. But you know who's not on this list? Ben Yurosek. Dude, he's looked terrible, man. And I was screaming. Look, Oscar Delp still has more recruiting stars and catches this year, so not great. But, man, I thought Yurosek was going to be the dude to kind of step in and help this offense out, or at least, be a factor. I don't think he's even caught a pass this year. He looked terrible on his blocking, so I don't know what to make of it. But, yeah, nice little fumble by Oscar Delp that almost cost them the game. Berrien Brown, you got to get him the ball more. This is just not a good offense. This Brock is not it. Dane Key, whatever. Jamori Macklin, alligator arms. I'm not a huge fan. He should have never left North Texas, in my opinion. One of the hottest guys right now. Arch Manning comes in ab strain for Quinn Ewers. He's going to be out at least 1 to 2 weeks. Quinn Ewers, I think his first pass, touchdown, books it for 67 yards here. Looks like the truth. His Prism from last year went from $30 to $50 on ComC. I was buying them at about $17 to $25. There was a huge floor at $30, so I didn't touch them. That floor is up now. So something to think about. And I think with this injury, I'm okay buying Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning still. I think with this not being a super serious injury, he still has room to go up. I still don't think he's really that up from preseason. And then Arch Manning, knowing Quinn Ewers and his injury history, I think is going to be okay when it comes to the ceiling or the handcuff aspect, right? So I think people are still going to keep this afloat in terms of the actual market. Let's see. What do we have here? Isaiah Bond, amazing. He looks like the real deal. Jonte Cook also had 2 touchdowns. That's really nice. Matthew Golden didn't have the touchdowns, but it is what it is. That's okay for me. Silas Bolin not in any cards. Ryan Wingo, the freshman, looks decent. UTSA is not good though. They lost everyone in the portal, so it is what it is. Not good. Tyler Van Dyke goes down, and I think the opening drive, I was buying into him just from a pro perspective. It does not look good. He was crying while he was getting carted off. He was in a boot, crutches. I couldn't think of it. Not good. I don't know who this kid is. Looks like he's going to have to take over, though. Ches Malusi's been pretty underwhelming. Tawi Walker, very underwhelming. It is what it is. Will Pauling at least gets his 9 for 83. That's not bad. He's in Leaf. I don't mind him. I think he's probably better for the draft than he is the actual season, especially if Tyler Van Dyke is out. Alabama. This is how Jalen Milroe should be playing every single week. If he's balling out like this, I take everything back that I said about Jalen Milroe. Everything mean I ever said. Not gonna throw a lot. It is a little weird with a Kalen DeBoer offense. He averages 40 attempts a game. Jalen Milroe just not like that, but he's putting up 300 yards total and 4 or 5 touchdowns a game. If he can keep this up through October, November, let's see, October. Yep, if he can hit this stretch and be consistent, we'll see what he does. They got 2 weeks for Georgia. We'll see, but I like it. Jam Miller seems to be the lead guy here. Justice only 2 touches. That's a little concerning. Ty did get in, and it was garbage time, and they were just letting him dink and dunk. Look, all summer, everyone was like, Jeremy Bernard, Jeremy Bernard, Jeremy Bernard. He was at Michigan State. He sat behind Jalen Naylor, Jaden Reed, all these guys, right? Keon Coleman goes to UW, sat behind McMillan and Ondunze, and who's the other guy? Jalen Polk. Comes over, he's been okay, but Ryan Williams, this is the guy, man. Incredible. He's the next Julio, apparently. Man, he looks incredible. I can't say enough about Ryan Williams. That is a bona fide 5-star guy who's coming out and taking your lunch money. Caleb Odom continues to. I don't really notice him, or he's only getting a couple catches a game, a couple targets, but he's in the rotation as a freshman. Cool, I'll take it. Chad Campbell, leader in tackles again. Keon Saab, not in cards, but a good transfer from Michigan. All right. Jackson Dart sneakily had a very good fantasy performance, 377 yards, 2 touchdowns. It is what it is. Wake Forest has a pretty good run D, and they shredded them right there. So Henry Parrish seems to be the dude. This credit to Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin. They just get the best running backs all across the country. You listen. This was funny when Quinshon Judkins left Ole Miss. There were dudes who were like, "Oh, they believe in Ulysses Bentley. He's the truth. He's next guy up." And trash, bro. 14 touches, 53 yards. You're rotational guy at best. Henry Parrish has been dominating. Look at this on last week too, and 300 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, I get it, not great competition, but man, Parrish looks like he's the lead guy. I was curious how that was all going to work out just with all these guys. Who's the other running back? The transfer from Ohio, I think. Whatever. Trey Harris, though, solid, continues to produce, and same with Antoine Wells. Good production there. Both guys in Leaf products, so it is what it is. No one of note here. Hank Bachmeier is in the first-year Bowman, but I wouldn't personally ever really touch him. Okay, here we go. Boston College, Missouri. This was a lot closer than it should have been, and one of these touchdowns, I think it was to Reed Harris. It looked like a bad snap. Everyone kind of paused on Missouri's defense, and they just scored. Every receiver was open. That's the hardest catch in the country, or in the world, in football, to ever make, is when you're wide open and everyone knows it. He caught it, and he ran it in for a touchdown, though. But they struggled. I didn't like that, but yeah, Brady Cook, I wish they would have more of a semblance of offense in terms of the pass game. Luther Burden, finally, congrats, he had over 40 yards in the game, and he looked very good. I will give him that. Theo Weiss, you do enough to be the number 2. The offense just hasn't been there for me, and I'm a little disappointed. I don't know much about Nate Noel, but Marcus Carroll coming over from Georgia State, whatever. Now I'm just talking about guys who are not in Bowman, which I will stick to Bowman guys, but Brady Cook still been disappointing for me. He's got 2 passing touchdowns on the year, 2 passing touchdowns to 1 TD or 1 INT. We'll see what happens. I don't know who they have next. Let's go back here. Vandy, that could be a tough one. A&M, I'm not concerned. Tough games. Okay. Trayshawn Ward looks like the number 1 back. Just punked Kyle Robichaux, who I really liked in the bowl game, in the Fenway Bowl. But Trayshawn Ward, good transfer from Kansas State, previously Florida State, has been the most dependable, I guess. Not a ton of yards there, and a little bit passing game. But, yeah, that's what I expected, I guess. I mean, I thought they could keep it close, but they should not have been behind for most of this game. Or at least it felt like it. They were not. Maybe they were. I don't know. You could look at the play-by-play, but this was kind of in the background for most of my morning. Tennessee, man, Nico barely even plays. and it's just Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson probably has what, 7, 8 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns through 3 games. He's been ridiculous. Look at this game log: 4 touchdowns, 2 and 3. Incredible. They have a running game there for sure. Receivers, I don't think did much. Yeah, Squirrel White been a little disappointing for me. IMO, in my opinion. Chris Brazel has actually been pretty decent. He's got Leaf Pro Set Autos. Mike Matthews, I think it's the 5-star kid. I don't remember. He had a nice little catch in the end zone there. Nothing to note of Kent State. They're pretty bad. Holy Oregon. They finally came out and came to play. Dylan Gabriel, solid, had the long run for the touchdown, looked good. This is how I expect Oregon should look. Idaho, not the greatest performance, and then Boise State, a little bit of a scare there. It is what it is. A great run game, though. Where is he? Oh, Jordan James, at the top. Solid performance there. Noah Whittington getting in the action. That's interesting. Something to think about as a little sleeper. His prices aren't too bad right now. I personally don't want to buy into it. I'm a little too exposed with my Dylan Gabriel investment, but definitely something to note there. Trayshawn Holden, he scored. He scored a touchdown. I think he was one of the best values in all of Bowman. You can get, let's go to ComC. Let's check ComC right now for Trayshawn Holden Bowman auto. And we'll get Oregon Ducks here, just $3.58. You could have bought these cards for $2. Let's see, I got one for sale, or one not for sale. I bought it for $1.40 on June 4th, and I could have bought way more. I think I have this gold. Yep, that's my gold. Do I have anything here? No. But look at this. 8 copies sold this quarter. Spiked in the summer with 12. Trayshawn Holden was one of the best values for one of the most explosive. And you know who he's ahead of? Evan Stewart, baby. Look at that. Future first-round pick, 5-star guy, -- receiver in the class of 2022. 3 for 26. Man, that's tough. Tez Johnson, 7 for 110. Tez is the number 3 receiver in the country. I love Tez Johnson. The NFL is not going to like him. He does have cards in Mania and I think something else. I think he's in one of the Leaf sets. NFL is not going to like him. He's what? 5'7", 160, 5'10", 165. I don't know if I believe that. He's probably like 150 pounds, but I like it. Dante Moore got some garbage time. I saw a funny meme, and it was like Michigan fans and like smashing stuff with a baseball bat, and it was like Dante Moore playing garbage time, and Michigan has no options, and he's a MLK kid, I think. I think he's from Detroit, so that was funny to me. Haha. Nothing of note here. Jam Griffin, a little bit disappointing. I really didn't watch too much of this game, to be honest. I just watched the highlights just to see how all these guys scored. Miami, Ball State's one of the worst teams in the country. Sorry, Hendricks, but Cam Ward continued to light it up. This is concerning from a Bowman perspective, and 2, just you paid all this money for him, I imagine. 3 touches, 3 yards. Not great, but hey, if people are going to panic, definitely a time to buy. Damian Martinez, though, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, but maybe you're just keeping him fresh. I don't know. Jacoby George had a great game, as did Xavier Restrepo. Xavier Restrepo, I love. 2 touchdowns. Jacoby George, I think also. I'm curious who's their leading receiver right now, just from a production standpoint. It is Restrepo. Oh, by quite a bit. Okay, with 4 touchdowns. I love Restrepo. Fun to watch. I think that's really all I have to say about that. I love Miami. Not much to note here, just because Cam Ward was out. I don't know how much longer he will be out. They do play OK State, and they're going to need him. It is funny to see Bryson Barnes back up last year, who started for Utah, now playing, and then they threw in Jacob Conover. He was previously ASU. Before that, where was he? Oh, BYU. Yeah, BYU, ASU, now at Utah State. Not very good. And I think that's pretty much. Oh, Michael Bernard, not in Bowman, but it's funny. This is the kid who was guarding Jackson Smith and Jigba in the Rose Bowl. The backup running back. He had to play corner. So just remember that when people talk about how great JSN is and how he had 300 yards and broke the Rose Bowl record. He was cooking a running back at corner. Brant Kuthi, it is what it is, 3 for 68. That's pretty standard for him. Dorian Singer finally getting a decent amount of action, and Money Parks. I would like it if Money Parks was in Bowman. I think he's fun to watch. Is he? He's a senior. Okay, maybe not. And then Micah Pittman, the younger Pittman. That's really it. Not a whole lot without Cam Rising there. Not good. I expected them to keep it close. I don't remember what the spread was, but it is what it is there. Alan Bowman, Nice game there, 5 touchdowns. And you know who is very slow to start? Ollie Gordon, not good. I think he's been held under 50 yards twice now with Arkansas. Yep, yeah, not good. South Dakota State. I don't want to follow Ollie Gordon at all, but very odd. He's going to have his national cards, and that's about it. Brandon Presley had a rush and just continues to gobble up targets. 7 for 46. They're trying to get him the ball any way that he can. He scores again. I think he's scored every single week so far. That's what I like to see. 23 receptions through 3 weeks is insane, and then having 3 touchdowns, amazing. On pace for 125 receptions, crazy. So they like to get on the ball. That's about it. I think nothing for Tulsa. Tulsa was just reeling, man. This was ugly. They started with Kirk Francis. He threw a pick. They threw in Kittleman for a drive. They threw in Legis, who's also in Bowman, and then Cardell. I think they just threw out to in the final possession there. But Alan Bowman, he's gonna put up some numbers, so something to watch out for sure. And maybe the strongest team in the Big 12 right now. I don't know. Ooh, but something to think about. Brandon Presley, though, one of the best buys in Bowman IMO. Uh, I'm not high on Oklahoma. I haven't really been all off season since the product came out, which is Jackson Arnold. He was priced as a top 5 player in the product. I didn't understand it. You're buying recruiting hype and merely recruiting hype. Tulane's competitive. I like John Summerall. I wish him the best. They're in a rebuild, and to be this competitive, again, they were in a dogfight versus Houston last week. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't know, but he did have 2 rushing touchdowns, almost 100. I'm sure he probably hit 100, but he was probably sacked a couple times. He was sacked 3 times. So I'm sure he probably had over 100 yards, but stupid rule in college. Javonte Barnes is kind of lead back, which is Gavin Sawchuk might not have 50 yards this season. He has 35 yards. Very disappointing. He looked like the truth to end last season. Look at this, 100 yards and 5 straight. Cooked Arizona, 9 yards a carry. He looked like the truth, and I don't know what it is, but Javonte Barnes might be the leading back. Taylor Tatum, he was like the number 1 running back in last year's class. He might actually probably be the best. And then receiver-wise, meh. Deion Burks, cool. No Andrell Anthony in here. Who's the other kid that they have? Nick Anderson. I think he's been hurt. And then, of course, Jalil Farouk has been hurt. He broke his leg. Mario Williams came back down to earth, 3 for 36. And shout out Ty Thompson. Got some time. But Mensa, freshman, he's been kind of cooking. 24 QBR. I don't know what that's about. But I guess 14 for 34. Yeah, but Kansas State. He cooked Kansas State. So, I don't know. We'll see. But not high. They've got Tennessee. We'll talk about it later. Okay, this was a phenomenal game. Man, really disappointing for USC, South Carolina, not the real USC, to lose this game. Raheem Sanders, boy, he looks like that 1,400-yard rusher, like when he was at Arkansas his sophomore year. 1433. He had hamstring injuries that just bogged him down all year, barely played in any games, and was a real disappointment. Now he's already coming back and putting up some strong numbers. LSU defense, we'll see. Remember this off season when they were like, "Oh, we're gonna move Harold Perkins to linebacker. This is gonna be a good move." Nope. Nope. I said nope. That's not good. That's not a good idea. LSU coaching staff and their new defense coordinator, whoever they just got, I forget. You lose Mekhi Wingo. You lose Mason Smith. His issue is run defense, and now you're making him play 2 gaps up against the run without 2 NFL defensive linemen. Don't like it. Nope. Keep him on the edge. They had like 6 different dudes who were playing different positions. They're reeling on defense. Not good. In terms of quarterbacking, Lenore Sellers is hurt. Maybe, I don't know. He's been hurt each of the last 2 games. Robbie Ashford getting in there, and he can run a little bit. He had a 15-yard run. He definitely had a couple decent runs. So I don't know. Something to think about. Mazio Bennett, he scored last week. He is in Leaf Pro set. He's a true freshman. We'll see. Garrett Nussmeier, I don't know how to gauge. Looks good. He's fine. I don't know. People say he's a first-round guy, potential. I don't know. Caden Durham, looks like they found their guy. I think he's a freshman, right? He's a true freshman. True freshman. and he's their new running back now. Caleb Jackson, see ya. Josh Williams, been there forever. He did score early, but that's about it. Kyron Lacey continues to put up numbers, and so does Mason Taylor. So I like Mason Taylor. Kyron Lacey, very expensive. I wouldn't buy, but maybe he's going to be a huge draft riser. I could definitely see that. TJ Daniels is just there. So good win for LSU, bad loss for South Carolina. A lot of guys in Bowman and Leaf and all those. Michigan, yikes. Donovan Edwards, at least he scored and he had a decent game, but man, Khalil Mullings is punking this kid. And I was told that Donovan was best in the Big Ten, top 5 running back, top 3 running back in the country. Missed me with all that, man. He's had a couple good runs in some big games, and that's about it. He's a great Michigan montage moment guy, but not a day-to-day guy. Davis Warren, not good. Again, I don't know how you roll him out, give him 3 picks, and not roll Alex Orji out. That's fine. That's your quarterback assessment, and we know your quarterback assessments are bad when you go into the season with Davis Warren, Jack Tuttle, and Alex Orji and say, yeah, we don't need any more additions to this quarterback room. Fire that quarterback's coach immediately. Terrible at assessment. He did go in. He threw a touchdown. He almost missed his tight end. I think they were trying to run like a fake split zone or a boot or something, and he almost led him too far or underthrew it, I guess, and had him reach for it. Not good. Colson Loveland, the only bright spot on that offense, and that's about it. Jalen Rayner, a good quarterback. I hope he can get some recognition, although I think he's sophomore. Okay, cool. I thought he was a little bit older. I thought it was like a redshirt junior, but that is good. So if he's in Bowman, that would be fun. He's a fun player. That's about it. Holy smokes. Purdue. Yikes. Notre Dame just punked them all on the ground, man. Price and Love are incredible, and they can home run hit. And then Riley Leonard finally getting in the action. Not effective as a thrower. He does what you do what you need to do. 11 for 16, 112, whatever, 7-yard average. But he cooked them on the ground, and that's Notre Dame. If Notre Dame wants to be successful, this needs to be their identity. 400 yards rushing, and these are your top 3 rushers. Yeah, you take that all day. Do what you need to do. Don't put the game in the hands of Riley Leonard. Steve Angeli, I've been buying him. I bought him even before last week, just because I was like, all right, I'm already looking forward to next year for starting quarterbacks like a Steve Angeli and life after Riley Leonard. And then they lost to NIU, and I was like, oh, I might have to buy Steve Angeli even more. He just kind of looks good at all times. The bowl game against who was it? Oregon State last year. Was it Oregon State? Nah, I'm curious. But they lost, right? Let's see. Hold on. I gotta check. Oh, they cooked them. I'm thinking Oregon State USC a few years ago in El Paso, or the Sun Bowl or whatever it's called now. Tony the Tiger Bowl. Yeah, I mean, he just looked good. 15 for 19. Yeah. So I don't know. Something to think about if you see him cheap, I guess. And then nobody. Mitchell Evans, meh. Bo Collins, not ideal again. But you're not throwing a ton here. Steve Angeli, getting mop-up duty there. Hudson Card did not look great. Doesn't have a good O-line. Just not a good team in general at the moment. We'll see. Good defense, though. Dylan Thieneman, if he's in Bowman, I'm going nuclear. He's like the Cooper DeJean of this year's class. I absolutely love him. Sophomore, so he's got another year. But I love this guy. I hope he's in Bowman. I would go Cooper DeJean heavy on him. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Notre Dame, this needs to be your identity. Let them run. He needs to stay healthy. Riley Leonard cannot stay healthy, so I'm going to think about Steve Angeli, kind of the backup play there. Nothing of note here, right? Just Dylan Raiola. He's just kind of there for me. No one else. Isaiah Nayer did score, right? Yep. He's had 2 or 3 scores already this season. Jamal Banks, I was told, was supposed to be the dude. Where did he come from? He came from the East, right? Wake. Yep, Wake Forest. Not ideal. He was supposed to be kind of your guy, 6'4" guy, but it is what it is. And Dante Dowdle, whatever. All right, cool. That's it. Illinois, you know what? They're not bad. I mean, Central Michigan, I don't think is going to end up being very good, but Luke Altmaier doing what he needs to do, and that's pretty much it. They've got an amazing defense, and that's what you're going to get. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much to say there. I told you guys last week. I told you this, guys. Memphis is going to win. Memphis, I was expecting this to be much worse too. I was expecting a 38 to 10 game. Memphis offense is rolling. A little kind of a boring game, and you're just like, hey, Florida State, do something. Come on. Everyone saw the stat, 5 completions for like an average of, I think he had 5 completions for 7 yards or something. Not good. Roydell fumbles, not good. And this was your guy coming in that they've got Cam Davis. He's a 5-star freshman. But this was your guy. You coming in the year and they're like, oh, Roydell Williams. Yeah, looks good in camp. He was a backup at Alabama. And what's going on? Malik Benson, another backup from Bama. Hey, good for him. Ja'Kai Douglas, I like, and that's about it. I hope Seth Hennigan, Blumpkins, he did not have. He had 44. I hope one of these three guys, Seth, Rock, Demir, I hope they're in Bowman. One of them. Just give me one. NC State, man. Grayson McCall leaves the game, gets hurt. You can't rely on him for anything. I don't like it. NC State, one of the most disappointing teams in the country for me. You looked at I don't know what it is, but I don't know what it is. I really don't. Jordan Waters, that's the most Jordan Waters stat line you could think of. Justin Jolly's good tight end, one of the best in the country. Kevin Concepcion, had a great week 1 and it hasn't really done too much there. This offense is not it. Nope. Don't like it. So we'll see what happens there, but yeah, just not ideal. Brennan Sorsby, I like him. Didn't do too much compared to what he has done in the past. It was pretty much just a Corey Kiner game. This is a very corny Corey Kiner stat line, 21 for 126. He's good for anywhere from 80 to 150 yards and a touchdown for sure. Xavier Henderson, this kid's from Florida. Big kid, right? 6'3". 6'3" from Florida. Yeah, they've got talented receivers. So I like Brennan Sorsby. Very young though, only a sophomore, so something to think about. Shout out Blaine Gabbert there. And that's pretty much it for Cincy. But yeah, only a sophomore. We'll see. That's true prospecting right there. That's your, in Bowman baseball terms, you're buying that 17-year-old kid from the Dominican Republic for sure. Texas Tech, this is what I was expecting last week against Wazoo. We'll talk about Wazoo later. North Texas, they can score and they kind of get shut down. Sevens, every now and then. It is what it is. Taj Brooks back, getting his 100 yards. I like that. Micah Hudson, a little disappointing. There's all this hype. Josh Kelly, kind of there. Look how many guys they're throwing to, though. Crazy. Yeah. Did they have defensive touchdowns? I did not really look into this game because I didn't really care entirely, but they had one pick for two touchdowns then. Yeah, that just didn't look okay. Maybe a fumble, but yeah, just not. I guess he had 4 passing touchdowns. I'm not a Brand Morin guy, but it is what it is. Taj Brooks is a beast though, and it's good. Usually it takes him like 25 to 30 touches to score. Good to see him only get 17 touches and score and get 100 yards there. This has no implications in Bowman. UMass is terrible. I don't think anyone is in Bowman there. Temple's really bad. I think I don't know, but Coastal, good for them. Not good here. Texas A&M, Florida. We're still waiting to see if what's his name is getting fired, Billy Napier. They had meetings this morning. I'm recording this at 9:30 at night. So I don't know. Maybe we wake up and he's fired on Monday morning. I don't know. They were rotating these guys in. I hate that approach. You cannot get guys in rhythm. It creates division in your locker room. I'm not a fan. Gosh, probably one of the worst performances of the day. Anybody, Cards or not, 7 carries, -7 yards. I mean, they just couldn't run the ball, and meanwhile, A&M put 300 down your throat. So hard to win. Hard to win when you can't run the rock like that. And you can't stop the run. Marcel Reed is in Bowman. I don't like Connor Wegman. Again, another prospect here, another Brennan Sorsby type guy. We'll see. And then Elijah Badger, solid. Arizona State. They ruled, who's their other receiver? Eugene Wilson. He was out before the game, which is unfortunate. We'll see. No one else here. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do head coaching-wise. I don't know what you expected head coaching-wise. It is what it is, and I don't know what you do here. That's that's for them to figure out. Michigan State Prairie View is pretty awful. They should maybe win one other game this season. Northwestern State is one of the worst teams in the country, and I don't know a lot of these. I don't know the HBCU like that, but I feel like they're not going to win very many games. So, one of the worst teams in the country. Oh, God. Okay. Aiden Childs, do what you need to do. Cool. Nate Carter. I love Nate Carter. Nice little game there. And look at this. Antonio Gates. Probably his career day in a Spartan jersey, so good for him. Nick Marsh coming off a huge game, a little disappointing, I guess. You want him to continue to stack those up as a true freshman. Jack Velling, one of the best in the country. Those are all guys that I wouldn't mind if Jack Velling had a card in Bowman. Same with Nick Marsh now, but a little disappointing to see him come down to earth there. Childs, we'll see. They got a big one this upcoming week, which we'll talk about at the end. Not much, against Prairie View that we can talk about. Darius Taylor, huge game, one of the best performances of the week. 2 touchdowns there and a touchdown through the air as well. So good to see. Say Bangura, a 800-yard rusher, 1,800-yard rusher in 2 years at Ohio, and he maybe has 10 yards total. Doesn't even have 10 yards total. That's a damn shame. This is why you don't transfer and always try to chase up. This was one of the worst transfers in the country. I don't know. Darius Taylor's there. Marcus Major somehow is the number 2. And then you've got Jordan Newbin as well, Tyler Newbin's little brother, who went off in the bowl game. Not much here. Pat Garwo, good to see him lead the team in rushing, I guess. He just can never stay healthy. Savion Red, he came from Texas, and Sean Dollars came from Oregon. That's like the all-transfer team. 3 picks, not good, but yeah, really you're just looking at Darius Taylor there. Injury concerns and a loaded backfield, running back room. Tough to gauge, but that's the Darius Taylor I expected to see for sure. Man, this was a joy to watch. I was glued to my TV watching this game. Very satisfying to see Jedd Fisch lose. Very uncharacteristic way of calling the game, I felt, with Jedd Fisch. The offense just didn't look there. Also, it could be because you're rotating 2 quarterbacks in, and none of them can get a rhythm. There's no coordination or continuity between them and the receivers. This has been rumbling since the summer. Hey, Damon Williams is going to get some playing time, and they rotate him now with Will Rogers. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Just from a local perspective, and just because I watched him live and very closely because he was signed with Arizona, I think he would be fun to prospect. That's just me personally. I don't think he's going to be, it's not me, screaming at the top of my lungs like Ricky White, Torrey Horton, Brandon Presley, all these guys, I just think he's fun. He had like a 1,500 yards rushing as a senior. Jonah Coleman, it is what it is. I still think he's one of the best running backs in the country. Jeremiah Hunter, a terrible blocker. He missed so many blocks. I was very disappointed. I'm kind of out. Do not like Jeremiah Hunter at the moment. And look at this, John Mateer, man. He just games. If he's in Bowman, I would go crazy. He's fun to watch, and he's sat for a while. I feel like he's in his 3rd year. So however they want to classify it. I don't think they put like redshirt sophomore, so I guess he's a redshirt sophomore. But yeah, just kind of sad. Hasn't really done a whole lot now. Doing well. Josh Meredith, good player there. Okay, onward. Very satisfying to see. I think they roll with Damon Williams going forward after a certain point. I wouldn't be shocked. Will Rogers was already there when Jedd Fisch came in. Will Rogers hit the portal again, got convinced because that's what Jedd Fisch does. He's a little salesman, and I feel bad for Will Rogers. The writing is on the wall. It's very clear. When you run speed option to the boundary, you're just saying like, hey, I can't do this with Will. But you know who I can do this with? Damon Williams. Nothing really of note here because it's really just Jamal Haynes. Didn't really do much. VMI is terrible, though. Looks like they were just trying to, just get your win, get out, stay healthy, and fight to live another day. Eric Singleton, very good. I think only a true sophomore as well. If he's in Bowman, he would be fun to watch out for. Very good receiver. Nothing else to talk about. West Virginia, Pitt, man, my boy Eli Holstein. West Virginia blew this game for sure. They had no business, letting up that many points, and there was a stat that teams were 150-0 when they had a double-digit lead in the final 4 minutes, and now West Virginia blows that record. Eli Holstein is the truth, man. His autos are going nuclear. When I say nuclear, a base auto is like $30, which to me is very high for a base auto, in my opinion. Desmond Reed didn't do a whole lot on the ground, which is disappointing, but did have 2 touchdowns through the air, which is good. Desmond Reed, this is why, I love learning. I love learning about coaching trees and transfers and guys. Desmond Reed and a lot of these guys on the team came from Western Carolina. You know why they're all from Western Carolina? Because their offensive coordinator is from Western Carolina, and he had like the #1 offense in FCS. Pitt offensive coordinator. I've looked this up before. Cade Bell, that's his name. Let's look at. I'm sure it's going to have his accolades here. Let's see. Led the Catamounts in the FCS in total offense with 504 yards a game. 3rd in passing, 4th in scoring. One of the best offensive minds. He is going to be one of those whiz kids that's going to be at Clemson or Ole Miss or just one of those programs, right? So be on the lookout for Cade Bell. He's up and coming, and a lot of their guys came from Western Carolina, and they can put a point. Desmond Reed's the truth. What year is he? He's a junior. He's got some time. But Eli Holstein, I love Eli Holstein. You look at his film from high school, rocket arm, huge guy. Alabama, obviously recruited him. Nick Saban recruit. And you don't see, maybe this is fictional, but I feel like you don't see a lot of Alabama quarterbacks like transfer out and burn out. So I don't know. Maybe there's some truth to that, or some not truth to that. Garrett Green, okay, fine. I mean, he's a 50% passer, but he's going to run, whatever. Looks like CJ Donaldson's the lead guy. Jaheim White is explosive. He is dirty, and he's only a true sophomore. But CJ Donaldson has kind of led the team in carries all season so far, which is interesting to think about. Jaden Bray, not a guy I was very optimistic for. He was very high on fantasy football rankings, and I did not know why. He's like a 300-yard receiver max at OK State. 382 last season, 30 receptions, nothing crazy. You're averaging 2 yards a game, or two catches a game, basically. A little bit more than that, of course, but yeah, interesting to see that he was ranked so highly. Led technically Cole Taylor, Mason Taylor's brother, and then Hudson Clement. He's just there. Oh, CJ Donaldson, nice, 2 touchdowns. Nice, yeah. West Virginia is good buyers. They are good buyers in the card market, and CJ Donaldson looks good. Okay, this has no implication. I'm not even going to talk about it. Cade McNamara, garbage. Caleb Johnson though, he might be. You know what? Let's. I'm gonna look at this. Brennan Sullivan. I hope I did not see that touchdown. I'm curious to see what that was, but Caleb Johnson. Let's do this. He might be leading the. He might be leading the country in rushing. He is. Yeah, dude's been a menace. Obviously, Gene T, I don't think played this last week. RJ Harvey's been putting up numbers. Hampton just put up like 200 or 300 this week. Jaquindon Jackson's been on fire. We'll talk about all those guys, but yeah, Caleb Johnson's just been cooking this whole season. His worst game was Illinois State, and they probably called the dogs off on him, although they were struggling there. This is concerning. This is very concerning as an App State fan, not a fan. I shouldn't say that, but App State. I enjoy App State. I don't mind them. I think Joey Aguilar, they were set up for success. Joey Aguilar, a multi-year starter, good coaching staff. It is what it is. They have not been pulling away, and they need Jake Garcia to throw interceptions. One of the worst quarterbacks in the country. He is in Bowman in his Missouri jersey. Started with Miami. He's at 4 different high schools. He was at Narbonne. Then where did he go? Oh, La Habra, then Narbonne. Then he went to Valdosta and Grayson. Yeah, Narbonne, La Habra, California. Moved here for COVID. Grayson High School. Miami, 7 schools in what is this? 7 schools in 3 years. What are we doing? He's not good. And but who came back from the dead? Winston Wright Jr. He's in Bowman Best and his Florida State, and he's in the national packs from last year. He was at Florida State. Started at West Virginia. I forgot about that. Then he was at Florida State. I think he got in a car accident in 2022, broke his leg, and missed all of last season or that year. And then this year, he just like quit in 2023. And then he just magically showed up at ECU. So very odd. But hey, he had a huge touchdown and just threw it in over the air in the bucket. So good for them. But not good. I'm somewhat invested in Joey Aguilar, and he has not looked impressive. App State in general has not looked impressive. Um, so yeah, not great. The Sun Belt is yeah, Coastal might win the Sun Belt. James Madison's not looking great. I don't know enough about these Louisiana schools to be honest. So that is what it is. UAB. After a week ago, I said they should fire who's their head coach, Trent Dilfer. Who'd they lose to? Who'd they lose to? Oh, they lost to UL Monroe. Oh man, you cannot lose to UL Monroe, who's kind of buzzing right now. But Jacob Zeno, good game from him. Kind of a sneaky quarterback guy. But Taylor Green has not been amazing as a passer, but again, his legs do it all. And Jaquindon Jackson's been a beast. They should have probably beat Oklahoma State last week, and Jaquindon Jackson should get more love. He's in On It, which is a very expensive auto set. You just don't see him a whole lot. And then only 3 receivers catching balls, and Jaquindon being running back. Isaiah Sategna did his commitment edit when he was in the recruitment process. Fun fact. This one's so interesting. I don't know what to make of it. Malik Murphy looks decent, I guess. But UConn, I mean, aside from a whooping they took from Maryland, and who'd they beat last week? UTEP? Merrimack? Okay. Merrimack, they blew the brakes off them. Nick Evers, if he's your quarterback, that's not great, but I feel like they had a good transfer portal. I do need to look in to see who's the kid that was in Bowman. Victor Rosa, little Connecticut kid or New Hampshire kid. I need to look into why he did not play. Jordan Moore is a very good receiver. I think he's a former quarterback. I think that's the case. But yeah, Malik Murphy. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at someone if you are prospecting Malik Murphy. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad. Do your homework, do your research. But I'm not buying into Malik Murphy. But I would understand why someone would. So think about it. Yeah, Hampton just cooked these guys. Just banged them all in from like inside the 10-yard line. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, 200 yards on NC Central. Those NC schools, and I think someone had a scare. Those NC schools, they produce some talent. You look at the NFL talent, and like North Carolina is 4th behind California, Texas, and Florida in NFL talent. So those North Carolina schools are a little sketchy. Oh, was it NC State? Was it NC State? No. Okay. Someone else had a scare against a Carolina school. I don't want to scroll too far and lose my space. Omarion Hampton, going to be one of the biggest chases in Bowman, I imagine, if he's in it. And then that's pretty much it. Yeah, not much to talk about. Kyron Drone's been a little disappointing. He does move with his feet, but just hasn't had like a huge 4 or 5 touchdown game. And then Allie Jennings really did nothing. Jalen Lane, I don't know too much about. But yeah, not much to do. They backdoor covered this, I believe. Or maybe they still covered. I don't know. But a little bit too close for my comfort. ODU not great, but Virginia Tech hasn't been super impressive. Talked about it last week. UTEP's just not there yet. I was hopeful for them. Who was their coach? UTEP head coach. He came from Austin P. Scotty Walden. Brought in all those guys. They're just not there yet. But Caden Salter, again, waiting for him to be explosive, waiting for him to do something. They've been very not great for me. Quentin Cooley didn't do a whole lot, but it was Billy Lucas, this kid who's been here for like 5 years and just bursted on the scene. So I've looked into Liberty because I'm like, this needs to be studied. They were, still averaging over 32, 33 points a game, but just hasn't been the same in my opinion. They lost a lot of their offensive line, it appears. This has no implications, and I just genuinely don't care. This is bad. Uh, they, yeah, this is bad. You cannot lose to Georgia State. That's it. That's all I got. All right, go back. Let's go back here. Okay. Jacksonville State, dude, Rich Rod. I mean, he benched Logan Smothers, and now he's got this Tyler Huff kid who's probably just as bad. Can't stop anybody on defense. Not good. Um, San Jose doesn't look great. I mean, Kennesaw State's not great. They probably might not win a game. Nick Nash, oh man, when they hired Brent Brennan, I was like, dude, we got to get Nick Nash. Oh my god, I hate when people say we. Arizona's got to get Nick Nash. He's a beast. He's been having a great year, but San Jose State's not amazing. Western Kentucky, this is like I learned 100 Mile of Hate is their rivalry. And TJ Finley left the game in a sling or with his hand, something very early, and this kid just lit it up. And then Vitatio, he can air it out too. So think about that. But really nothing of note here. Just TJ Finley. We'll see what that injury looks like, and not good that his backup lit it up like that. 90% completion. God, Hawaii's got to be one of the most disappointing teams in the country for me. Their offense, and a Timmy Chang run and shoot offense, you got to be putting up some big numbers, and that's not good. Sam Houston, not. I don't know. I don't know what to make of them. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Byron Brown, let's welcome him to the party. Finally had a multi-touchdown game. Southern Miss not very good. 38 baby over here with almost 100 yards. I like that. And that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. Byron Brown, prices are ridiculous in my opinion for what he's done. So I don't know. Maybe when he finally goes off, then his prices go even higher. I don't know. Auburn, not great. Starting this new kid, Hank Brown. We'll see. I don't know. Jarquez cooked him, and receivers were okay. I like Rivaldo Fairweather. Devin Dampier would be fun to prospect with if he's in. I imagine he would get like Sage autos or something. Just being a local kid from Saguaro, I like that, but not much there. Mississippi State, I knew this was going to be the worst team in the SEC. You're getting throttled by the Rockets here. Not good. You should cancel your program after this one. Blake Shea, they're yikes, losing at home like that, not good. Indiana, how about those Hoosiers, man? I was very high on them. Signetti, those JMU boys. Curtis Rourke, I'm not specifically high on, but his autos were selling. It was more of a, hey, I'm just high on Indiana as a team. I don't care how it gets done. I just like Indiana as a team. Cool. 4 touchdowns, amazing. Justice Ellison, he scored from 2 yards out. I tried to watch the drive. I don't know what this rotation is. I know Kalen Black is definitely running back 3, though. That much is for sure. But Tyson Lawton and Justice Ellison kind of split the carries. He just punched in from 2 yards out, and that's pretty much it. Elijah Surratt's the truth. No Donovan McCulley, who Prod told me to buy, and that's disappointing. He was hurt last year. He came back this week. Who knows? TJ Harden did have a decent game, almost 100 yards. I do like him. Rico Flores is fun to watch. Ethan Garbers is not a power 4 quarterback. Terrible. Okay. Baylor, so DeQuan Finn did not play. He was in a sling, I think, to start the game, and they still were able to just kind of pound the rock away. Dominic Richardson was the OK State transfer who kind of punked Richard Reese, and Richard Reese, not bad. They took him to media days, and that kind of perked up. I started sniffing around. He's just kind of there, I guess. And then Dawson Pendergrass was the freshman last year. Not great for Monterey Baldwin, one of the fastest guys in the country. Michael Trigg, surprisingly, this guy was what, USC, Ole Miss, somewhere else maybe? No, okay, just those 3. Having a career year at Baylor in his 4th year as a former 5-star. Let's see how bad the ratings were on this recruiting website. Okay, he was a 4-star. Top 150. All right, I'll allow it. Okay, Shadur. This is very Shadur. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, cool. They don't even try to rush the ball. Michael Welch, though, the 3-star out of Georgia, I think. Look at his huddle. This kid's fast as heck. I love it. Travis Hunter doing Travis Hunter things. LeJounte Wester's time to step up. And you know who hasn't done much? Jimmy Horn since that first breakout game. So hope you didn't get burned wanting to buy Jimmy Horn. This is exactly how I thought their receiver room would look. Travis Hunter seems to be more consistent than I thought, but now it's LeJounte Wester's turn. We're waiting for Will Shepard's turn. Not a lot of people were probably watching this game just because they don't care about Colorado State, but something to think about. All these guys have autos. These top four guys. Michael Welch would be very fun to prospect in Bowman. Shooter, I hate what he's doing off the field. This guy makes it easy to not like him. I cannot stand just his antics, his character, his lack of leadership. Ugh. Ugh. But you know what? Baker Mayfield was drafted number 1. Johnny Manziel was a first-round pick. So who knows? GMs just drool over potential. Not good. I'm still a Braden Fowler Nicolosi believer. I liked him last year. Has not had a great, obviously when you play Texas, he has like 58 rushing or passing yards. Not great. And then that's obviously going to impact Torrey Horton. They were saying Torrey Horton decoy this, that. I don't know. Not ideal. Torrey Horton, what is he at? 120. Not great through 3 games. And we're almost done here. Okay, cool. So this was a game that this was like TCU was favored by like 6.5, and I was like, I think UCF's gonna win straight up, and man, they came back big time. KJ Jefferson looked good, 3 touchdowns, good. RJ Harvey probably. I mean, we already saw the stats. I think he was number 2. Yeah, I think he's gonna lead the country in rushing. He's unstoppable. Kobe Hudson's a phenomenal receiver. I don't think he's young. He's senior, yeah. But he's really good. And Josh Hoover, 4 touchdowns, TCU. He's putting up some yards, so we'll see. Something to watch out for. Cam Cook, I think, is a freshman, or is he someone they just found, a sophomore? So we'll see. And no, JP Richardson's there. Okay, cool. Savion Williams, 2 touchdowns, big body receiver. UCF, this rushing attack is dangerous, and they didn't have a lot going on for them until the second half. So think about it if they were clicking all game. Northwestern, do not care to talk about them. They've got some receivers, cool, but that's about it. Do not care to talk about this. Nope. Do I want to talk about this? Not really. Anthony Colandrea is interesting. He's a little, you want him on your team. A little poor man Cam Rising. And I think that's pretty much it. He's been disappointing. Roman Hemby hasn't done much this season, I don't think. 134 yards. Yeah, not great. Not great. Houston, okay, cool. Nothing. Donovan Smith hasn't really done too much. BYU, gosh, let me show you something. Miles Davis, the Jazz man, he's the lead running back. 8 carries, 15 yards, and he had a long of 8. Not good. They're down their first and second string running backs, and Miles Davis, you can get his gold for $3. A true gold, non-auto. He doesn't have any autos. Retzlaff proven me wrong a little bit. I mean, it's their defense who's keeping them in. They cannot move the ball. They have no offense, but hey, at least he's putting up numbers there. Nothing to talk about. Harrison Whaley should be coming back soon, so that's much needed. I was watching this game very closely. I don't know why. I just could not go to sleep last night, so nothing from a card perspective. No Jaden Ott. He dressed out and he was warming up, but then by like the second half or the second quarter, he was no helmet and I think just wearing like sweats. So I don't know what's up with that. Corey Dykes scored. That's cool. I like him. Transfer from Maryland. And Mikey Matthews, a bad move. Left Utah to go to Cal. Yikes. And that's pretty much it. Cool. And then this one, no implications, but hey, if Fresno State gets some Bowman, I'd love Mike Keene and Malik Sherrod. And Jalen Moss is cool. All right, cool. So that is your recap. Disappointments, risers, all of that. Let's take a look at week 4 real quick. I don't know how long this is. We'll see. App State, don't trust them. Don't trust them, but they should win that game. I'm waiting for Joey Aguilar to do something. This is an interesting one. I expect Syracuse to win, but I won't be surprised if Stanford covers. But Kyle McCord's balling out, one of the hottest guys, as well as Oron Gadsden, as long as he can stay healthy. Who knows? This should be a good game. This should be a good game. Illinois, like I said, they're just there. They're just competing. They're winning. They're finding ways to win. Would not be shocked if Illinois wins and covers the spread. We'll see. Um, I'm a big Wazoo guy. I'm a big John Mateer guy. They should roll over San Jose State pretty easily. They should blow. They should win 56 rip on this one. I'm not. I'm out on NC State. I'm so far out. Not even funny. Not good. Give me Clemson big, big. This is disrespectful. 4.5. Florida, Mississippi State. What are we doing? Mississippi State's one of the worst teams. I get it. They're going to be distracted and all of this stuff. I don't know what is going to happen. Is Eugene Wilson healthy? I don't know. They should win by 10 points. Easy. This is bad. That's bad. Indiana should blow the brakes off them. Who's their Gip or Kip? Oh my God, what's his name? Bip, Biff. Charlotte head coach. Biff Poggi. There we go. I couldn't think. Feel like I was combining both his names. They should blow the brakes off of them. No line there. Villanova should be pretty terrible. Give me Maryland. I don't trust James Madison. I'm really disappointed with Chesney, their head coach from Holy Cross. They just haven't. I wasn't expecting James Madison to have a fall off, to be honest, but looks like they are having a little fall off. Hampton should just run all over them. Cincy, give me Cincy. I love Brandon Sorsby. Kansas. I'm gonna take Kansas. I don't know. I love West Virginia to death. This stay away. This is just enjoy the game, but I lean Kansas right now. Tulane should win that. I don't know enough about Louisiana though. Rice, I like Rice. I like EJ Warner though, and I'm a little biased just him being from Phoenix, so I've watched him a lot, and he has been very disappointing this season. Rice been very disappointing in general. I don't know if Kentucky can score 18 points. Sure, they put up 12 against Georgia, but that's concerning. I don't know. Ball State's one of the worst. Yeah, one of the worst in the country. CMU, easy. This is sketchy. I don't like it. Arkansas State can cover. Again, I maybe talked about Jalen Rayner. Then who did they just play? Oh, Michigan. Yeah, 10-point loss to Michigan. That's scary. Give me UVA pretty easily. I like Colandrea. I think he's just gritty. He's gonna make a lot of mistakes. I'm sure he's probably fumbled quite a few times, but Coastal just they're there. They're scrappy. They're gonna win some games, but not for me. Utah State should obliterate Temple. Not even close. Don't care. I don't know how you trust Jacksonville State. Just out of pure, I feel so bad for Rich Rod, man. I'd take Southern Miss with the points there. Don't care. Penn State, are they like that? 50 points? That's a lot. USC, easy. How they're not in the top 10. This is why I don't like the top 10. You're listening to old white men who have all these biases and don't even watch half of these games, I imagine. How is USC not top 10? They beat LSU and smoked Utah State. I don't know. What else do you need them to do? I don't know. Notre Dame, hey, ground and pound Miami should be terrible. Just ground and pound them to death, and you'll be good. This is sketchy. I think Georgia Tech, that's a little disrespectful, 10 points. We don't know enough about Louisville. Just sit back and learn about both of these teams, I guess. But Georgia Tech, I would take the 10 points there. We're going to learn a lot about Tyler Show, and I guess that's all I have. Ja'Cory Brooks. Yeah. NIU should beat the brakes off of them. Give me Auburn or Arkansas. Jaquan Jackson's going to feast on these kids. Auburn's not good. I lean Virginia Tech a little bit, but I'm not sure. Stay away from this game. Just learn about both of these teams. No. I'm going to take ASU. I just think they're better. I think Taj Brooks is probably the best player on the field, but I just lean ASU. They've impressed me so far, and that loss to Wazoo was lackluster to me, but also the win against Washington now for Wazoo makes me feel a little bit better. Uh, they should win by like 30. Um, this one's that's tough. This is tough. Too big of a number for me, but LSU, good. OK State easy, I think, especially if Cam Rising's not back. I don't trust Utah like that, and I trust OK State a little bit more, but I don't know. Stay away. Duke. Eh. Okay, cool. I Vandy by 3. Oh, or Vandy plus 3 scores. Give me Vandy. Diego Pavia can do some damage, and Brady Cook in the offense. Just I'm not super impressed. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous for Missouri. TCU I feel like should smoke them. Yep. Okay. Uh, Jake Garcia 8 interceptions, not good. Give me Liberty, I guess, but I'm still concerned with that offense. Colorado State. UTEP just not there yet. They should roll. Hopefully, this is the breakout game we're waiting for Torrey Horton. Miami, I think will blow the brakes off them by 34. I'm still not impressed with Byron Brown so far, and Miami's the truth. Washington by 10. That's a lot of points. I just don't know what they're going to do with their quarterback situation, but I'm not high on Northwestern. I'm not high on Washington, but they should win. 10 is a lot, though. UConn, both these teams are pretty terrible, but I lean UConn. UConn can be decent. I just don't like their quarterback situation. Florida State, give me Cal. I'm not going to be banking on a 0-3 team to win their first game. And DJ Uyungle, like, give me Cal. Even though they have to travel. Don't care. Really don't care. I don't know a lot of the Louisiana schools, to be honest, as well. NC State or New Mexico State, Sam Houston, don't care. Don't know enough right now with just TJ Finley's injury, so I'll stay away. North Texas should beat the brakes off these kids. Wyoming might be one of the worst group of 5 teams in the country right now. These are 2 teams that I see are truly 50-50, and I don't trust either of them. This is going to be a phenomenal game. I think Tennessee is going to blow the brakes off of them, though. I just don't trust Oklahoma with what they've done this season. And Tennessee, again, they haven't played, Temple, 5 turnovers versus Temple, cool. You squeaked out a win versus Houston and probably could have lost in Tulane. It is what it is. Tennessee has not played anyone, in my opinion. Chattanooga, NC State is not a good team, and Kent State, no. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. A&M, 23 points. No. Harold Fannin could put up some points. I don't like Bayslock. And who's their running back? Evans or Mitchell or what's his name? Terrion Stewart or something. There's all there he is. Terrion Stewart. He could be solid. I think he was out last week. 20 Akron's pretty bad. Yeah. Ben Finley. Shout out Ben Finley, Phoenix kid, Paradise Valley. Ryan Finley's little brother. He was NC State, Cal, now Akron. Whew. He cooked us though. We lost like 55-10 to him when he was at Paradise Valley High School. I guess lean Iowa. I'm not a Brosmer guy right now. They should win by 100. Even with Arch, they should win by a lot. This is disrespectful. Give me Michigan State. I think they come out and send a message for sure. That's a little disrespectful. IMO. This a little bit closer than I thought. Who knows what happens with DeQuan Finn? I don't really know, but I trust Colorado, to be honest, more than Baylor. Baylor's not neither of these coaching staffs are good, but it is what it is. Fresno State 15.5. Devin Dampier is too dangerous for 15.5, but they are pretty solid. Purdue, Oregon State. Give me Purdue straight up. Boise State. Not a lot of games this week, huh? Boise State. Okay, no line. I don't care then. Kansas State, big. They just beat Arizona, who I think is slightly better than BYU at the moment. Yeah, that seems like a trap. This seems like a trap, though. I could see this being a 4. What does Vegas know? What do they know? I don't know. So, all right, that's everything we talked about, all these cards and everything. Who performed well. We looked at next week. What do we think? So, that is everything. Again, I told you at the beginning, I look forward to making this video every Sunday night now after Sunday Night Football. If you enjoyed, hey, throw this thing on 1.25 speed and enjoy, learn something. If you learned something, let me know what you learned in the comments down below. Drop a like, subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Peace.